If you understood what a woman's smallest, quietest signals really meant, half of your heartbreaks would never have happened. And if you recognize the one shift she makes when she's already chosen you, your entire view of relationships would change tonight. Most men think a woman's interest is loud, obvious, and dramatic. They wait for some movie-style confession or a perfect moment. But real female psychology doesn't work like that. Real interest from a woman is subtle, almost invisible to an untrained man, and it appears in ways you were never taught to recognize. I'm telling you this as a female psychologist who has spent years listening to women say the same thing. He didn't even realize I'd already picked him. The truth is uncomfortable, but crucial. When a woman is drawn to you, she reveals it through shifts in behavior so small that you miss them unless you know exactly what to look for. Her interest is rarely announced. It is entrusted. You'll notice it first in the way she pays attention to the details you thought nobody saw, the tone you speak with when you're stressed, the way your eyes move when you're thinking, the specific things that quietly break your confidence. She begins studying you without making it obvious, not because she wants to control you, but because she wants to understand the man she's allowing into her emotional world. Women do not invest in men they feel unsafe with. They invest in men who feel significant. And when she starts memorizing your emotional patterns, it's not curiosity, it's attachment forming. She also becomes more honest with you, but not in dramatic confessions. A woman who has chosen you begins revealing the side of herself she hides from everyone else, not the polished version, not the social version, but the vulnerable one. She'll share small fears, quiet insecurities, dreams she's afraid to say out loud. Women do not open the locked rooms of their inner lives to men they see as temporary. They only do it when they feel their heart has someplace stable to land. If she's letting you see the parts she usually protects, you already matter to her more than she wants to admit. There is another shift, one most men misinterpret. She becomes subtly protective of your emotional experience, not possessive, not controlling, protective. She checks in more often. She notices when your energy changes. She asks questions other people overlook. This is not friendliness. This is emotional alignment. Women do not align with men they do not feel bonded to. She is positioning herself closer to your internal world because she has already placed you inside hers. A woman who has already chosen you begins revealing her interest in ways that never look like pursuit, yet carry the unmistakable weight of emotional commitment. You'll notice the first major shift in the way she calibrates. Her presence around you. She doesn't try to impress you with exaggerated confidence or polished perfection. Instead, she moves into a version of herself that is more natural, more unfiltered, and more grounded. This is not a performance. This is permission. When a woman feels safe choosing you, she stops managing your perception of her and starts allowing you to see who she truly is. Most men miss this completely because they assume attraction means bold displays and dramatic signals. But real female interest is quieter, deeper, and far more revealing. She also begins to create emotional openings for you without making it obvious. She asks questions that invite you to reveal your worldview, your values, your boundaries, your wounds, not because she's interrogating you, but because she's mapping the emotional landscape of your life. She wants to know how you think, what you feel, and what has shaped you. Women do not invest this level of emotional curiosity into men they see as replaceable. This is early bonding disguised as simple conversation, and the more you respond with clarity and honesty, the more she roots herself into the connection. Another sign emerges in the way she adjusts her rhythm to match yours. She's not mirroring you to manipulate. She's synchronizing to connect. She slows down when you're thoughtful. She becomes more energetic when you're enthusiastic. She steadies herself when you're tense. Women do this subconsciously when they feel emotionally drawn to someone. It's an instinctive alignment process, a way of building harmony without announcing it. If you notice her energy resonating with yours in subtle, consistent ways, understand that she's already emotionally linked to you. You'll also see her making small sacrifices that don't look like sacrifices. She shifts her schedule slightly. She makes time she didn't have before. She prioritizes conversations that feel meaningful. She remembers your preferences without you pointing them out. These adjustments are not done for men she sees as temporary. They are investments, quiet, steady, intentional investments into a future she hasn't mentioned yet, but has already imagined. Women do not imagine futures with men they do not feel emotionally chosen by. And then there is the final, unmistakable signal. She begins subtly protecting the connection from outside influence. She won't announce it, but she becomes more selective about who she tells about you, not out of secrecy, but out of preservation. Women protect what they value emotionally, especially when it's still fragile. If she shelters the connection rather than broadcasting it, it means she wants to keep it safe while it grows, doesn't confess it with words. She exposes it through the emotional risks she takes. One of the deepest signals appears when she starts letting you influence her inner world, not her behavior, not her decisions, her emotional state. When a woman genuinely cares, your reactions begin to matter in ways she cannot hide. If you're disappointed, she feels it. If you're proud of her, she carries that feeling for days. If your tone shifts, she notices instantly. This is not sensitivity. It is emotional attunement. Women do not attune themselves to men they see as temporary. They only do this when they've already allowed you into their emotional space long before they ever say it out loud. Another shift happens in the way she becomes more intentional about her presence around you. She won't say she wants to be seen by you, but you'll feel it. She shows up with greater warmth, but not in a performative way. She holds your gaze half a second longer. She listens with full attention when you speak. She softens when your guard is up. These changes are subtle enough to dismiss, but powerful enough to transform this atmosphere between you. A woman who hasn't chosen you stays surface level, pleasant, polite, predictable. A woman who has chosen you becomes emotionally expressive in ways she doesn't even realize she's revealing. You'll also see her willingness to disagree with you shift. Most men assume that interest means constant harmony. In truth, harmony is only real when a woman feels safe enough to show honesty. When she likes you but hasn't chosen you, she avoids conflict. When she has chosen you, she begins to express her standards, her boundaries, her perspectives, even when they don't align with yours. She's not pushing you away. She's bringing you into the real structure of her inner world. Women do not risk disagreement with men they see as replaceable. They risk it with men who matter. Another signal appears in the way she supports your emotional growth. She doesn't try to fix you, but she encourages the version of you that she believes you're capable of becoming. She challenges you in gentle but precise ways. She notices unhealthy patterns you've normalized. She points out strengths you've overlooked. This is not criticism. This is emotional investment. A woman who has chosen you contributes to your development because she sees a future where your strength benefits both of you. A woman who hasn't chosen you stays comfortable watching you remain the same. And then there's the most revealing shift of all. She becomes more patient with your imperfections, not blindly accepting them, not ignoring them, but navigating them with care. She gives you space when you need it, grace when you're struggling, and clarity when you're confused. Women only offer this level of emotional patience when they've already attached their heart to yours. You begins revealing it through a kind of emotional transparency she doesn't offer to anyone else. It starts quietly. In moments you might overlook at first. She lets you see her when she's tired, not just when she's polished. She trusts you with her unfiltered reactions, not just the curated ones she shows the world. This is one of the strongest signs of emotional investment because women instinctively protect their inner vulnerability. When she stops guarding her emotional edges around you, it means she feels safe enough to be real. And being real is the highest form of interest a woman can express without saying the words directly. You'll also notice she becomes more careful with the way she communicates. Not timid, careful. She listens to the meaning behind your words, not just the sentences. She pays attention to the emotional context, not just the content. And when she responds, she does it with a kind of precision that reflects emotional awareness. She chooses her tone with intention. She adjusts her phrasing to avoid unnecessary tension. She speaks with clarity because she wants you to feel understood. Women don't communicate at this level for men who are temporary. They do it for men they hope will remain part of their emotional life. Another sign is the way she begins creating small emotional rituals with you, often without either of you noticing at first. Maybe she checks in at the same time each day. Maybe she shares a thought, a moment, a memory, or something that reminded her of you. These tiny consistencies are not random. They are her way of building a personal rhythm with you. Women form emotional bonds through repetition and shared micro moments. If she's establishing patterns that only you are part of, it means she's weaving you into her daily emotional life. You'll also recognize a shift in her emotional accountability. She becomes more reflective about her reactions with you. If she feels she responded too sharply, she acknowledges it. If she senses distance between you, she moves gently to restore connection. She doesn't disappear when things feel tense. She seeks understanding. Women only hold themselves accountable in this way when they care deeply about the outcome of the connection. Emotional accountability is an investment in long-term stability, not short-term attraction. Another powerful signal appears in the way she makes space for your voice, not just in conversation, but in decisions, plans, emotional choices, and even future possibilities. She values your perspective in a way that shapes her direction. She considers how you might feel before taking a step that affects both of you. This is not dependency, it is integration. Women integrate the opinions and emotions of men they have already chosen. And finally, she becomes increasingly consistent, not perfect, consistent. Her warmth doesn't fluctuate based on ego, mood, or attention from others. Her presence stays steady even when life gets chaotic. She's not proving anything. She's choosing you repeatedly. Consistency is one of the rarest and most reliable signs of genuine emotional commitment. Now reflect on this. Has a woman ever created? Reveals it through one final pattern. She starts imagining a life where you fit without ever forcing you into it. She doesn't pressure you, she doesn't rush you, and she doesn't demand certainty. Instead, she allows the connection to expand naturally, as if her heart is clearing space for you long before she knows whether you'll step into it. This quiet emotional preparation is one of the strongest indicators of deep interest, because women do not mentally include men in their future unless they feel emotionally anchored to them in the present. She envisions experiences with you, conversations not yet had, memories not yet created. She plans around you without announcing she's planning. She saves room for you without asking you to. Fill it. This is not fantasy, it is emotional readiness. Another signal appears in the way she becomes more reactive to your emotional state than to your words. If you withdraw, she senses it instantly. If something is bothering you, she feels it before you explain it. If you're overwhelmed, she steps back gently without taking it personally. When you succeed, her pride in you is genuine, not performative. When you struggle, her concern is real, not convenient. This kind of emotional synchronization doesn't happen when a woman is casually interested. It happens when she has already invested her emotional energy into you at a level she cannot undo easily. You become part of her internal emotional map, and she responds to you with a depth reserved only for someone she has chosen. There's also the way she becomes more intentional about the emotional environment she builds around you. She wants your conversations to feel safe, your presence to feel grounding, your time together to feel meaningful. She avoids unnecessary chaos. She avoids creating tension that serves no purpose. She becomes more mindful of how her actions affect the connection. This isn't an act. It's an instinctive desire to preserve what she values. Women protect the emotional spaces they want to grow in. And then comes the moment most men misinterpret. She begins showing you the respect she believes you deserve before you've fully proven yourself. Not blind loyalty, but early trust. She listens to your goals with curiosity. She supports your ambitions even when they're difficult. She believes in your capability before you fully become the man you're trying to be. Women do not offer this type of belief to every man. They offer it to the one they've quietly chosen. And if you miss this, you may confuse her confidence in you for simple kindness, when in reality it's the beginning of emotional partnership. Finally, the clearest sign emerges. She makes emotional room for your imperfections without letting them define you. She sees your flaws acknowledges them, and still chooses connection instead of distance. She treats your mistakes as moments to understand you, not reasons to detach. When a woman gives you compassion, patience, and clarity at the same time, she has already invested emotionally at a level she rarely admits out loud. Now, answer this directly. Have you ever realized too late that a woman had already chosen you long before you understood the signs? Comment your experience below and like, subscribe, and share this video with a man who needs this insight.